During the height of the economic shutdown during the COVID pandemic, a variety of services intended for government based financial relief, such as food assistance and unemployment, they simplified their application process in order to speed up the wait time and to provide faster relief with fewer requirements. During this time, a lot of people took advantage of that system and they're now facing charges for a variety of fraud, like COVID PPE loan fraud and other fraud that was directly related to these services that were to offer relief to individual citizens. Those are being processed systematically at the moment. Many people used fraudulent businesses or fraudulent data about their businesses that were already existing businesses in order to obtain the maximum amount of money possible. That's where we found this document, an indictment against Gerald Thomas for for not PPE fraud, but for unemployment fraud. And yeah, this is not really within the bounds of normal at all. This also isn't within the bounds of what I would normally cover, but I found it very interesting. And it's also a good just reminder to make sure you keep an eye on your personal information and data in case it is ever compromised. On April 5th, 2024, this indictment came down. However, let's go back for just a moment. The person that we're talking about today, Gerald Thomas, back in 2016, he was found guilty. He was convicted of capital murder for the death of Charles Dukes, a 67-year-old man who was found in his vehicle behind a credit union, deceased. Gerald Thomas and another man were convicted of his murder. Now, fast forward to April 5th, 2024, clearly Thomas is an inmate. And this indictment that came down for over 59 counts of fraud, basically, is for Gerald Thomas. So he did this while being an inmate inside the Mississippi correctional system on a capital murder charge. He obtained the identities of other inmates and was able to basically create a system of applying for unemployment with various identities and having the money sent to his mother's house. Now, he didn't get away with a ton of money, but it's very interesting that an inmate was able to not only pull this off, but by using the identity of other inmates. So, anyhow, just a little public service announcement to make sure that you keep an eye on your identity because any of these inmates could have offered up identities from people that they know outside of the prison system. So, just once again, with AI and all of our digital abilities that we have now, it's just really important to make sure that you keep an eye on your information. My personal information has been stolen multiple times, dating all the way back to like 2001, I want to say it was, when I had the first big one of like $7,000. When you're young and on your own, that's a significant amount of money for you to be out or to have to figure out what to do, because back then not many places were just forgiving the debt and you were responsible for that. And if they could not immediately figure out who did it, they were not going to spend the man hours on trying to track that person down. In the area that I had it happen, it was actually an area where a lot of people that lived in that area were not actual citizens of this country. So they also didn't want to go after them for that reason because it just is another layer of difficulty in tracking them down. We have that again without even people being inside the country. People are able to obtain the identities of other individuals being, in another country, as many people know. So keep an eye on your identity, and make sure that you don't take advantage of these programs as they make things, more simplified or easier to get to during certain circumstances, because it will come back on you.